Welcome to Influential Entrepreneurs, bringing you interviews with elite business leaders and experts, sharing tips and strategies for elevating your business to the next level. Here's your host, Mike Saunders.
Well, hello and welcome to this episode of Influential Entrepreneurs. This is Mike Saunders, the Authority Positioning Coach, and today we have with us Maddy Martin, who's the Head of Growth and Education at Smithai. Maddy, welcome to the program.
Thanks so much, Mike. It's great to be here.
Yeah, it's great to talk to you. I love when we talk about automation, artificial intelligence, and just things that help us as entrepreneurs and business owners do more faster, more efficiently. And I know we'll have a great conversation. But give us a little bit of background on yourself and then what led you to Smithai.
Sure. Well, I am an econ major from Hamilton College in upstate New York, and I started working at a nonprofit where I was really focused on communicating with constituents there, and ended up running a community program and content syndication for Food 52, which was an online food community. After that, went to California, ran a startups growth for Your Mechanic, where it was a community of mechanics that basically Uber model would come to your home or office to fix your car. So really elevating the small business micro entrepreneur there. And then I went to Smithai, and here I am running growth for our receptionists to answer calls and chats and text messages for small businesses. So really just elevating that professional who is working independently to serve other small businesses, to find a way to run your life and your work in a way that addresses your passions and doesn't bog you down with all of the chores of actually operating a business. That's been sort of a consistent theme. How do we leverage resources to get either, home cooks or car owners or small business owners the services that they need? And then here at Smithai, it's expanding every day because a human who's great at their job is able to achieve, a great deal. But a human backed by AI is able to achieve even more through efficiency and through the reduction of noise and streamlining systems. So we're able to deliver incredible value to small businesses, entrepreneurs, growing startups, you name it.
Yeah, I mean, I think that whole concept of saving time to keep you focused on what you need to focus on is a massive thing. And I want to talk about the service and learn more about that. But I want to ask a question just from a really broad stroke, because this is something that I think that I've noticed over the last years and years and decades with time-saving devices or automation, and you can have so much time in your day, and this technology will save you so much time and free up your time to do things you want to do. And I feel like it works, but you tend not to do the things you want to do and have that margin in your personal business life because you just cram more in. And I want your opinion on that. And it might just be the nature of the beast, and you just have to make your personal, objective to actually take that time for yourself. But how do you work with clients in saying, okay, now this will save you time, now do something good with it?
Yeah, man, we could spend a long time on this subject. And I actually think so. My mom is a therapist, and there's a lot of psychology here, and I think it's really important to self-identify as someone who is looking for work-life balance, or who is someone who maybe the sort of, especially with entrepreneurs, very type A go-getter. I'm trying to fill up as many hours in my day with productive work as I can, and that's what makes me feel like I'm thriving and I'm happy. And that is okay. But it's important to self-identify with whether you're someone who really wants more work-life balance or whether you're someone who wants, more satisfying work during the day and not necessarily to work fewer hours. Like that is totally a personal driving force within you that I'm never going to influence, right? So which type are you? What we often find is that people who would like more work-life balance, there is a delegation and control issue that comes up, and it's the same way with the other personality type. But what happens is if you've started a business, the impetus for that is often, the driver for that is often that you want control over your the way that you work, what you work on, how you work, who you work with, all those things, right? And what ends up happening is that there comes a point where your business is actually growing to the point where you can't do all of those things yourself, and you need to hand them off, all these tasks and routine chores and things that are not unique and can only be done by you because you're the expert, because you're certified, whatever the nature of your business. There is often a mental block more than a real physical block that is substantial. It's often mental. There's analysis paralysis. There is agonizing over whether or not this is a threat to your business. But what ends up happening is, and we see this time and again, the threat to your business is almost always the blocking of adding tools and productivity enhancing services and software. You are probably blocking your business by not trying these things more than you would ever hurt your business by trying something and it not being exactly as you would do it if you had hands-on doing it yourself.
Yeah, I'll bet that is a big thing you guys deal with because it's like, oh, I can't allow this automation or this tool to do what I need to do. But in reality, give it a try. What if it does work? And give it 30 days, 60 days, and maybe even, keep track of and make sure that it works the way you want it to. But if you did that and then you were doing more productive things, wow, it's a revelation. And it really gets down to opportunity cost, I would think. If you're doing this, you can't be doing that. And if that is a revenue producing or goal moving toward a goal activity, then you're missing out on a whole lot.
Exactly, and that exactly gets to my econ background, right? We talk a lot about opportunity costs, and all that means is what could you be doing with your time, whether it's billable work, so to speak, and it actually makes you money, or it's something that only you can do that builds your business. Like we cannot network for you and sit in front of people and be you, right? We can't write articles for you as the expert, but if you have all of these other things taken off your plate, then you have more time to do those things that really move the needle. And what we find is that it is the sort of thing where you get started, it's 80% of the way there. There's a little bit of iteration that happens to refine the process, and then you have the peace of mind to focus on all the other things that you need to get done during the day, but you're also not giving up complete control, right? So we have a lot of people, and this is completely understandable, who work with us as the gatekeepers, who say, I need you to screen my potential leads, and I need you to know when things are priority and get routed or transferred to me directly, and I need you to know when to block spam and sales people who annoy and consume time in my day. And then when I get, let's say, a new potential client is calling, they've been screened, we pass them to you, you're still the rainmaker, right? You're still making that sale. You're still driving that personal connection. We are not reducing that personalized touch to your business. We are not watering down the business and brand that you have built up. All we're doing is allowing you to streamline your time and to take advantage of sort of this model, the Eisenhower decision matrix, where you're delegating those things that you don't actually need to personally handle yourself, at least at the outset.
Yeah, so let's talk about your products. It is very simply from your website, a virtual receptionist and website chat. So the virtual receptionist is live, US based. So tell us a little bit about that. Is it simply like the olden days, an answering service? Hi, this is so-and-so company. How may I help you? Oh, I'll take a message and they'll call you back. Or how detailed can they get?
They can get very detailed, and we will do whatever you want within your comfort level as your business demands. So we work with a lot of professional services businesses, lawyers, financial advisors, a lot of e-commerce, a lot of professional and home services, right, mechanics and so forth. And what we are able to do is to know who is a good qualified client for you, and also based on your rules, if it's a new client calling or an existing client or a constituent or a partner in the community, how to specifically handle and prioritize those calls. If it's a potential clients, what we find is most effective is actually pre-screening based on your criteria for who is qualified to be a client for you. Are they in the right location? Are they demonstrating the right characteristics and answers to a few questions that you need to know? And then are they interested in speaking with you directly? Do we have the ability to warm transfer, or do we schedule a consultation on your calendar? The beautiful thing is that you see the entire call summary, or if it's on a website chat, the chat transcript from that conversation, so that when you have that warm transfer, when you have that consultation that's scheduled for you, then you're fully in the loop and you don't need to rehash or make the person spend time, getting you back up to speed on why they contacted you. But what we can do is have that conversation kick off where you're already in the know about what they need.
And for those that are worried, I don't know how it's going to sound to my prospects, clients, strategic alliances to have this, receptionist, do you provide recordings so that then the boss can listen in and go, okay, I spot checked a few of these and that's a professional sounding person, and that response was exactly the way we trained them and asked them to respond?
Yeah, so we rarely get any concerns about the phone quality. You can, based on the rules of your state, record calls. You may need to notify callers that it's being recorded. We don't by default record those calls. But what we can do, obviously, like what we find is that people think that our receptionists are their in-house service. And let me just kind of push that back to, most people are complaining that they're reaching your voicemail. The beautiful thing about working with a small business, and the reason why people reach out to entrepreneurs and startups, is they want to support a new business, right? A new small business that has a model that appeals to them, that speaks to them. Now, the problem is it can be a very unprofessional approach to get voicemail, or to think that you can handle everything when you just can't. So we do overflow. We don't have to handle all of your calls, so that you have the opportunity, or your team does, to pick up even if you have a frontline staff. But we can make outbound calls as well, so that anyone who completes a web form or a web chat or emails you who needs a follow-up call, we use your caller ID to call them back. And the experience ends up being that of an in-house receptionist. So the net effect is much better professionalism and a presence that shows probably a larger business than may even actually be the case.
And are you finding, because as you were describing that, I was thinking about, use cases or scenarios where a company right now that cannot answer the phone, it rolls to voicemail, and I'm sure that they're going to leave a message and I'll call them back when I can, and they want to avoid that. Okay, that's one use case. But how about the some that have maybe a handful of employees, let's call it 6-7 employees, and the call rings into the first one, and if they're not available or at their desk, it rings 2 or 3 times and then rolls to someone else down the hall, and then if that person isn't available, it rings to the other person. Now this caller is just ringing and ringing and ringing, and that's not a good experience either. Do you find scenarios on both of those sides that your tool is a solution for?
Yes. So we can handle whatever sequence you put us into your call system. We can be only answering new client calls. We can be the second step. If you do have someone who is, we ring them first and then we're the backup. But the more rings that happen, the more unlikely it is that person is going to stay on the phone and patiently wait for you to pick up, especially in the age of cell phones, where we have them on our hip at all times. There are fewer rings that need to happen before it actually connects. Now, we do see some latency issues with some VoIP phones, so a cloud phone system may ring, and it's important that you always audit your phone system. Independent of this conversation we're having, Mike, if anyone here has a VoIP phone and you have not audited or secret shopped your phone system to make sure that it is ringing, one time and you're hearing one ring on your end, that is absolutely critical, because you may be missing calls if it's ringing multiple times before it even starts to ring you, right?
Yeah.
If you've ever had someone you pick up and they're not there anymore, that could be an indicator. But what we find is that the less time it takes, the better. So what we would recommend is that we would pick up and then we would know who to route to within that team of 6 or 7. We can handle multiple transfer destinations and know who to route to in what scenario, if there's billing, new clients, account management, the principals of the company, et cetera.
Yep, that's a super, super good explanation. I think that in this day and age, people want immediate response, so they don't feel comfortable as much sending in a email to support at whatever your company is, and so they're like, okay, well, let's call somebody. Well, if they can't get them, they get frustrated. And then I think that it's so neat that you have the hand-in-hand service, which is the virtual receptionist plus then the website chat, because some people are going to go, I'm not going to sit on hold or call 1-800. I want answers now. Give me this chat box. So let's talk a little bit about the chat and how AI plays into that.
Right. So, I mean, it is perfectly complementary, and we know that responsiveness is key, and also that people are chatting with businesses while they're at work. So it's really important that if they are at their desk, they can actually have a conversation, view your website, and get answers that they need to determine if you're the right business to suit their needs. So what we find is that through both text answering, through mobile web chat, and through desktop web chat, we're able to answer all the common questions that come into your business. And if they indicate that they're a good potential fit, to book a time with them on your calendar, or to do basic intake and put them into your system for follow-up on your side later or evaluation, and to make sure that they get that responsiveness that is now 24/7 on live website chat. And also the AI component plays an important role here to make sure that answers are consistent every single time. We use that same technology on the phone to make sure that the receptionists are always answering correctly for your business. But also we have real-time English-Spanish translation, so that if a receptionist is on your website and they're handling a chat and the person indicates they prefer Spanish, we can automatically translate those chats back and forth in the preferred native language in real time. Now, after the chat happens, that can be passed into your CRM. So if you use Salesforce or HubSpot or any of those systems, it is logged in there. And from there, you can actually trigger automatic workflows with Zapier to make sure that person has the initial intake form or new client consultation questionnaire, or other lead nurturing drips via email if they didn't schedule a consultation. So all of that happens in an automated way that you can leverage to scale your business without so much hands-on work.
Yeah, huge piece. Now let's talk about the AI side of it, which is what I mean by that is, it's one thing to have a human receptionist that says, thank you for calling the company, whatever, and then they know what to say, but AI on a chat, what if it freaks out and puts in a message that makes you look like an idiot? So where does that AI come in, and how do you make sure that it protects the brand image?
Yeah, I think that the number one thing to do with the AI chat, which is, so we have the live chat, which is assisted by AI technology, and then we have also the free AI chat bot that is fully automated. And what's really important is that you do not, and we do not promote, like, pretending like the bot is human. Like, it's not at that stage. Technology is not that good where it's conveying sentiment to the extent that you would believe that you're communicating with a human. There's different tolerances also when you know that it's a bot. So what's beautiful is that when we have the AI only bot, or even assisting the live chat, we have sequence conversations. So you know that when someone comes to your website, you can predict like the top 3 things that they're coming there to find out about, and then you can steer them in the right direction by sequenced conversations that are completely customizable based on your business needs. And that can steer them directly into scheduling a consult, or recommending products, or steering them to purchase something from your website, whatever action it is that you want them to take. Maybe it's even downloading an ebook or something. And then if you do have the live chat enabled, they are there monitoring, and they can jump in at any time, and they will introduce themselves. If it's completely AI, then what we're seeing is very systematic handling for marketing campaigns, for new people who are kicking tires and trying to learn more about your business. And if they are qualified, what's great is that you always have their name and email and phone number. So a lot of bots will allow conversations to begin without capturing that contact information. And what we offer is a chat widget that is on brand, completely customized with your colors and logo and everything in your greeting, but also with the ability to capture name, email, and optionally phone number upfront before a chat begins, because we know that sometimes those conversations get cut short. The boss walks by, or, people are, losing Wi-Fi on their phone, or whatever happens, right? Someone walks into a basement or an elevator, and they lose the chat. The problem with chat is that it's not a two-way conversation. So if you don't capture that name, email, and phone number in the beginning, then if you didn't do so during the conversation, you've lost the ability to reconnect with that lead. So that's why we do it up front. And when you're evaluating these systems, it's important that you look as that as a feature.
Yeah, that's really important. I like that. I like that aspect. And the other aspect that I like is for a company that is a startup or smaller and cannot afford to have that receptionist, right? You can look and appear like you are bigger. And I think that's one of the tenets of the art of war is, when you're small, appear big.
Yes, when you're small, appear big, and whatever you do, protect your time and reduce the noise, because there are so many people, especially as you begin to grow. This is what we see all the time with small businesses. Your business probably starts growing based on referrals, and then you start your first marketing campaign, and I've been marketing director for a lot of companies, and I have lived through this myself, trust me. You start advertising, you start marketing, and what happens is you start getting more leads of a lower average quality, because referrals are the best quality you're ever going to get, right? So it's a natural thing that happens. They're still qualified, but just not to the same degree. And you need to keep noise reduced so that you know the actual quality of the leads that's coming through, and you're not muddying data, because if you're not getting back to people and they don't end up hiring you or buying your product, that's not necessarily an indication of the campaign, and that's sort of a false negative. But also, you need to be very careful to screen out people who are not likely to buy from you if you're running these campaigns, because you can generate a lot of noise, spin your wheels, spend a lot of time on people and following up, and never actually get a ton of business from that. So we help you learn fast, and we protect your time so that you're only following up personally with people and clients and customers who are going to pay you money.
Excellent. Well, I just really appreciate your time, Maddie. It's really neat talking about not just a service, but the methodology and theory and research and strategy behind it. That's what's important. Opportunity cost and preserving your time and looking bigger. So for those that want to learn more about a virtual receptionist or a website chat with AI, what's the best way that they can reach out, learn more, connect with you, and maybe get a free consultation?
Absolutely. So not only do we do a free consultation, but we also do a free 10-call, 10-chat trial. We also have the free AI chatbot, so you can try it completely free. We are at Smith.ai online. You can chat with us live there. You can call us at 650-727-6484. And for anyone who is listening to this podcast, if you're a fan of Mike, we're a fan of Mike, and we would like to give you $100 off with the code Influential100. That's Influential100. So visit us online, Smith.ai, and we can talk about a customized solution for you for calls and chat.
Awesome. Maddie, well, thank you so much for coming on today, and hope you have a wonderful day.
Thanks so much, Mike. You too.
You've been listening to Influential Entrepreneurs with Mike Saunders. To learn more about the resources mentioned on today's show or listen to past episodes, visit www.influentialentrepreneurssradio.com.